And okay, so sometimes I'll see stuff online and I'll store it in the back of my mind and I'll address it later in like a big group or whatever. I'll let it like all add up so I can just say it. And sometimes, especially if only if it's like directed at me. But other times, I just sometimes it's like stuff not even worth addressing. But I just want to say this. Let me say this because I know I have messy family members that's watching and stuff like that, and that are doing a lot of other stuff that they don't think that I know that they're doing in the background. Certain ones. But let me just say this, and I made a video about this a while back, and I had like Tupac on the cover, and he had his middle finger up. It was like it was something I was responding to that I heard on Terry reading, and my family was saying. Let me just say this. Okay, so they're saying, and this is more than one side told me this, that people are saying that I repeat stuff or this and that or something like that. Now I just want to say this. Now you really got to think about this. When a person is a scapegoat in a family, it's like somebody in the family who everybody feels is least likely to do something, and they're like the last one kind of like to get themselves together. So even if people are guilty of the same thing you're guilty of, they like to put that on you because it's like they just need someone to kind of blame. So now remember, I don't talk to my family anymore. I don't, and I was just telling somebody else, I don't even watch their platforms. I'm at the point now, I don't care. I don't. No, none of my family members or whatever. I don't go to any of their platforms. I don't know. I don't care to know if they're going through this, going through that. If somebody's sick, if somebody dies, I don't. That's kind of like how I am, and I know that sounds evil, but I don't give a if. Anybody who's watching me and saw what I went through online was watching that SHIT every day, and not saying nothing, just sitting up there watching, being messy, repeating it. First of all, how you gonna call somebody messy or this and that, and you watching what they going through online and talking about it, gossip about it? Isn't that messy? Because it's like me, it's like if I don't like somebody and I don't respect them, I'm not gonna watch you or whatever. I don't give a damn what you talking about online. If you teaching whatever, I don't give a if or whatever. I'm not gonna watch you. So the only way you could just sit up there and watch it in silence and not say nothing is if you're a messy, demonic person or whatever. Because other than that, your attention and your focus should be on something else. Another thing I want to say, I just heard so many things. Certain people in my family working against you. They want to see you back in a certain position where you just ain't. They feel like you. Like I said before, it's certain things in my family or whatever that certain things that they do, but they'll never acknowledge it. It's always like just putting the blame on me. I have a family member or whatever I used to be real close to, or I thought I was close to, and I was with like this really really thuggish guy. Thuggish. This is we were together for a long time. Thuggish drug dealer type guy, and he used to get mad and talk real crazy out the side of his mouth or whatever. And whenever I would need somebody to vent to or whatever, because I've never been like a frenzy type person. I just don't really get along with females, and it's not even get along. I don't vibe well with women. Our conversations and our minds are different. We just don't have anything in common. I'm not really too much into like basic conversations. I can force myself to be, but I'm just not into like basic conversations. I'm not saying basic like I'm bitter or nothing like that. I just don't vibe well with certain women of any race. It doesn't matter. I just don't really like a lot of people, and it's just in general. I don't like a lot of people around me or whatever. I just don't. I'm trying to see how I can say it where it's not sounding arrogant, because I'm not being arrogant. As an introvert, I don't really like being around people, period. It doesn't matter the race. I just don't really like dealing with, if I have to deal with them, I will, but I don't like dealing with pity vibes. I just feel uncomfortable or whatever. If it was another person that was like an empath or an earth angel, I know this sounds corny, but then it's like that's somebody I could really, really just vibe with and I wouldn't feel awkward, but come on, I just don't really like, dealing with people. So we'll just say that. But I had an aunt I used to vent to, and I used to always call her and be like, oh, in the middle of the argument, and she would talk and try to calm the situation down, and there would be times that she would go and talk to him behind my back, and he would vent and be talking all crazy, and I asked her to stop doing it or whatever, because I feel like that's disrespectful. If anybody is an enemy to me should be an enemy to you. I would never just go and hear one of her girlfriends talking crazy to her, and I'm just, oh, that's my buddy and stuff like that. Only way a person like that can be a buddy to you is if you're an enemy to me. So we'll just say that. So, hold on, let me get this. That's one of the things that I have a problem with. Another thing is like certain people or whatever. I used to certain other family members I used to hang with in big groups with their friends. Because you remember, I don't associate with people I don't really like, have friends or whatever. And I'm fine with that. I don't want that or whatever. It's easy. I'm a very, very nice person. I can open up to people. I can meet people. I've had friends before in the past. I just don't really vibe well with people or whatever. And the only way I would vibe well with a person is if they're an introvert too, and they don't have a lot of people around or whatever. Or if they do, they keep them, you know, at bay or whatever. Or they come around every now and then. I don't like a lot of niggas around me. And then when I say niggas, I mean just people in general. I don't like dealing with a lot of people. So anyway, like, just like little stuff, it's like people, they just like to scapegoat. I want y'all to think about this, and this message is strictly for talking about my family, to them, about them, whatever. Think about the stuff that you said about me and repeated to other people. Just think about that. Really sit and think about every conversation you had behind my back or whatever. Whether, even if you were just talking bad about me or what you thought I said or whatever, think about what you said about me. I have a family member. I was going through something, and she told me, she was like, well, I told so-and-so and so-and-so you was going through this. And I'm like, I didn't tell you could do that. But then again, you repeated it or whatever. So even if I wasn't trying to deliberately be ugly, people, like, they'll do the same thing you do and just like to put it on you. And I'm kind of at the point where I don't give a if I have a family member or whatever, because I only talk to one person in my family, and they tell me certain people are asking about me, or if I hear through reading, family members are asking, why would you call a family member and ask about what I'm doing or whatever when you can clearly see it online? You see it on my platforms. You see it. You see what I'm talking about on my platforms. You saw what I was going through with the gang stalking. You see, but sit in silence or whatever and don't say nothing. So, I mean, why would you even ask that? Because it's not one. I don't go to my family member and ask, hey, what is this person going through? I don't give a flying F-U-C-K. I don't even want to hear. I'm not trying to be rude, but if somebody dies or passes away in my family, I'll pray for your soul or whatever. And I'm just gonna be honest, I'm not even gonna do that. Just hope that you just get yourself together before you die or whatever. Because I'm not going to no funerals. I don't give a if. My attitude is kind of like changed. I'm still a good person, a nice person. I just don't. When you go through something like that and you see you standing by yourself and you see people taking shots and people who don't know you taking. It's not even about being weak. It's just like when you're kind of. It's not even vulnerable. It's like I'm just very open or whatever. I don't hold back. I'm not the type of person that's going through something and gonna put on a front on social media acting like I'm just living it up and I don't have no problems and nothing like that. I'm just open and I tell what I'm going through. But when people, they take that as a chance to jump on the bandwagon and do them, those are devils or whatever. So we'll just say that. But it's like when you experience something like that, you don't really trust people and want people around you to, like, I was already like that, but now I'm really, really like that. I don't want nobody around me or whatever, so it is what it is. But yeah, I just wanted to address that. If you don't like somebody, you don't respect the family member, you don't like them, then the problem becomes you if you keep watching that person. You shouldn't care what that person doing, what that person teaching about, because the person really doesn't give a flying F about you or whatever. I don't care what my family going through about nothing, breakups. I don't want to hear about shit or whatever. That's just how I am. So I just wanted to get online and say this message. Check yourself. Go back in time and ask yourself, what have I said about Maya? What have I repeated about Maya? Even when I thought she didn't know or didn't get back to me. Because remember, I go to readers and I'm very, very, very aware of what people are doing or what they're saying behind my back. I'm even aware who's doing magic against my account or whatever and stopping the views. And some family members I heard, they were saying something about they don't like what I'm doing with the tarot cards or... First of all, I'm not a witch, so we'll just say that. But if someone's a witch, good witch, bad witch, that's fine. Or whatever, I'm not a witch. But it's like if you think somebody is a witch or you don't agree with tarot cards, then don't agree with it. Don't watch it. Don't look at it. You can have your own opinion about it if you think it's weird or whatever, or insane or whatever, but just make sure you don't watch it anymore. Even if you think the post that I'm making is silly or whatever, it's like, why would you watch that every day? Doesn't that make a person kind of slow and silly to sit up there and watch something they don't agree with every day? Because if I don't agree with something or whatever, that's even how I am with this ignorant guy or whatever that I used to respect online. Really respect him. I didn't really know him that well. I used to watch him even when I was in relationships. And he's a famous motivational person and kind of gangster or whatever. But it's like I watch and I be with my partner and I be like, see, look what he said, or blah 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 blah. And it's like you just see a different side of people and jealousy and stuff, and they have more than you. That's why I say it doesn't matter what a person has more of. It's like your heart, your integrity. Because people who really love themselves and they have a close relationship with God, they don't have to take shots or try to keep people when they down or belittle or stuff like that or look down. You're doing it because God is not with you or whatever. So a relationship with God is more important than riches, more important than a marriage, more important than friend, more important than everything. Because when God is standing with you or whatever, it's like can't nobody touch you. They can try, they can laugh, they can do whatever, but He gonna keep picking you up and having your back. So it's like when you see the truth about a lot of stuff, you don't really like dealing with a lot of people. I just don't. People be having their little smart mouths, little sarcastic remarks, and then it's like a lot of times when people say slick stuff to me, even if they don't think that I know that they're saying slick stuff, it's like I'll just not say nothing. It'll go over my head. It won't go over my head. I just won't repeat nothing about it. I won't say nothing. And they'll keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, and finally I'll go off and they'll be like, she blah, blah, blah. But people know what they be doing. It's like that's why it's not really good it's good to be honest, but not really good because people try to take advantage of it. It's like, just think about what type of person you would be to see somebody online expressing themselves, regardless of what you're going through, expressing themselves, talking about what they're going through. You get gangsta off. You take that opportunity to try to tear that person down, or you need to lose weight, or blah, 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 or you ain't this, you ain't that, you broke, or you looking down, or something like that. Just think about what type of person you would be. You know that God is not with you, and God is not staying with you, regardless of how many times you let God come out of your mouth. A godly person would never do nothing like that. That's a demonic trait, because demons do stuff like that. Satan tries to tear God's people away from their purpose, try to kick them when they down, try to destroy them. God-like person wouldn't do this. So when you just keep dealing with that or whatever, you get kind of turned off. It's like this guy came up to me on the bus yesterday, and I'm not no materialistic person. I don't care about the fancy cars. I don't care if people don't have cars. I don't really trip about that. It's just like when people come up to me now and just talk to me or whatever, and just in general, act like it's like I just look. It's like I see past them. I just see something else that I normally wouldn't paying attention to. You just be nice and friendly and stuff. Now it's just like I just look at everybody like they full of shit or whatever. Because it's like and everybody not like that. Because I'm not like that. But it's just like when it happens so much, you keep meeting people and you were by yourself and you struggle by yourself and you were going through stuff and nobody say nothing. It's kind of like everybody come up to me. It's like I just see the soul of them or whatever. I don't be wanting to be bothered or whatever. I'll socialize, the little bit that I have to, but I just really don't like dealing with people or whatever. And and that's like I said before, I was explaining on the post, archangel. That's what I said. Think about what that word means. You're an angel or whatever. And people think that's funny, like you're saying you're Batman and stuff like that. An angelic being, a true person of God, their soul, their spirit is not from this world. So when you're there, you're surrounded by humans. You're not going to think on a human type level. You're going to do stuff that's out of the ordinary. People are going to look. People are not going to understand. A true chosen person of God isn't going to be liked by the world because our Father wasn't or whatever. I'm not saying that if you like and stuff like that and you're popular that you're not a true person of God. But come on. People are going to really try their best to step on you and stop you, especially if you spitting the real raw truth or whatever. They're going to make a spectacle of it. They're going to laugh. They're going to look at you like you're slow. They're going to do whatever. So it is what it is. I don't really be tripping on. A lot of times when I'm around people or whatever, and I don't want to be, it's not even about being around it. It's just like sometimes when I talk to people, I kind of zone out a little bit. And I've always been like that. Whenever I'm bored or something's really not interesting to me, I don't try to do it, but I kind of zone out. And people may look at me as kind of being like an airhead or whatever. But I'm not an airhead. It's not interesting to me. I was like that in school when I used to teach about math and stuff like that. I zone out. Or if I'm around somebody and it's just different or whatever. The best thing for me or whatever, my ultimate goal is to be able to use my creative gifts and stuff like that. And I want to stay introverted, but I want to do something in a way like I can use my gifts and be able to help people like that, but still stay introverted. Or if I do get a partner, he's introverted, and I don't really like a lot of people around me. I'm just being honest. So it's not about stuck up. It's not about this. It's not about that. It's just about, in my opinion, it's just about trying to advance and let God use you in the way that He wants to use you, and just trying to overall just change your life and be the person that God has called you to be. So that's all I wanted to say. Just wanted to make this quick message. I wasn't gonna record on this account anymore because I'm really tired of them messing with the views. But it's just like I just had to say this or whatever because I know my family being messy and they gonna watch it or whatever. But yeah, it's like if you don't like somebody or whatever, you don't need to be concentrating on what they doing 24/7. You need to be concentrating on yourself, and then maybe one day God can speak to you and change you and help you elevate. Because I really just honestly don't give a if or whatever. And that's the same way you should feel. If that's how you feel, if that's what you putting on, and you really don't care like a person, then put that into full effect and don't watch them anymore. And it is what it is.